Hello there, my wonderful YouTube audience. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight for another train with me. And I'm trying a different setup because I got some feedback that it was difficult to see my small dogs while we trained. And tonight I have with me Mr. Panzer. Mwah! Mr. Panzer is such a good boy. And I have to warn you, he legit is going to be difficult to train tonight. So don't be surprised if I have a lot of struggles, but that's why I chose him. If I used Norby, it would be much easier. But that's not what you came here to see. You came to see me train in real life. And that's what these videos and these lives really are about, is because I want to make sure you guys know that it's not always picture perfect, but it can be really fun. Are you going to come up? Okay. It can be really fun to train with your dog. And yeah, I know. He's so crazy. He is so excited to do this with us tonight. So if you're going to train with us, I like to tell you what you need. You're going to need some treats for sure. You're going to need a quiet area with no other dogs around, so just the dog you're working. And it's also helpful if you have a mat or a stool or a dog bed, something that helps the dog know where to be in space. I'll talk more about that, but it's really important that we set our learner up for success so that they could downstay in other places over time. So it's not just on a dog bed or a mat or a stool, right? And we'll talk about how to teach our dog to lay down if they don't already know how. We'll go through that kind of quickly because most people have already taught their dog how to lay down. And then we're going to talk about how do we get them to down and stay. Now, if your dog is not comfortable laying down, then you can work on a sit stay. It's going to be the same concepts for the most part. So whatever makes sense for you and your dog. All right. So if you're here and participating, tell me what dog you're working or what dog you're going to be working in the future in the comments. So let me know their age. That's what I want to know. All right, Mr. Panzer. So Panzer is 2.5, and he's a toy fox terrier, and he's my husband's dog. So that's why he doesn't get trained as much. He gets trained more than he used to because we're doing a lot of videos and virtual training. So, you know, if you have questions throughout, please let me know. If it's difficult to hear or see me, let me know that as well on the fly, and I can adjust if you're here live. I like to make it so that you guys get all of the information, but you can hear it and see it really well. All right, so hey, Sonia, both my dogs are asleep. That's funny. And Obi, the one you would be training, is 4 months old. You know, your dogs like to sleep through these things. It gives me a little pattern, right? All right, cool. So what we're going to do first is I'm always going to tell you what we're going to, oh, rude, get over here. Get over here, come here. I'm always going to tell you what, excuse you, over here. He says, stop the talking, do the working. Here, Panzer. Let's see, do I have something for him to do? Let me give him a chew item. Just so you guys can focus. We can all focus. He's so naughty. Let me adjust this a little bit for you. All right. So, and Jennifer Page said Rupert is definitely a dog. Wonderful mutt of the year-ish old. And he is tired from trick dog training. Poor guy. But anyways, he's got something to do now, so he'll be quiet. My dogs love getting to do this, so I get a little rowdy. So I'm always going to tell you how we're going to do it. Then I will demonstrate it. And then I'll come back to you guys and see here in the comments what questions you have or how things are going at that level. And we'll keep this to about 30 minutes or so. Sometimes I go a little over because I get excited. But I want to make sure that you guys get the information you came for. And I'm trying to do these every Tuesday evening, a couple different times that I'm offering because of my schedule. So I'll let you know at the end what we're going to do next week and when. All right. Oh, Kirby's here too. So the picture of this video is actually Rachel Anderson's dog, Kirby. I wish he was here. We would work with him. That'd be so much fun. Okay. So step number 1 is just teaching your dog how to down. Now, for those of you that I know that are here, your dogs already know how to down, but I'm going to walk you through it anyways. There's a couple different ways to teach your dog. One is to lure the dog. So either from a stand or a sit, you can lure them with a treat. And then if they're standing, you're going to lure into them if this is the dog. And then they'll lure into it, which I'll show you with him. Or you can capture it, meaning the dog is automatically offering you a down for some reason. I think I have a Panzer here. And then you're gonna mark it with a clicker. Yes, I'll use a clicker tonight specifically so you guys know what are the moments I'm rewarding. Because sometimes it's hard to see when you're watching someone else train their dog. So I'm gonna click when he's right, but it's also good for him. So those are your options. You could lure it, or you can, just capture them doing it. I want you to remember that going into a down position can be very vulnerable. So if you have a tiny dog like him, or a dog that's a little nervous, they may not be willing to do it. So you might want to put them on a higher surface, like maybe a couch or something that they feel comfortable before you start working on this, or fix their environment in some way. We get this in group classes a lot where dogs don't want to down because they're worried that another dog is going to come jump them. And whether that's valid or not, I get it. I wouldn't want to lay on the ground either where there's a bunch of other people walking around. So let me show you that. And let me get my tools. So make sure you have your treats. I have some hot dogs and some cheese because sometimes the Panzer dog likes to just say, forget it. After a while, he's not a workhorse. So, all right, kiddo, I'm going to take your bone. Oh, no, not touch. All right, check in on you guys. Someone in the neighborhood, Jen, thought that Rupert was a fox. There's been a lot more fox sightings now since people aren't out as often. Would you like a free treat? Oh, yes, I would. All right, let me set up my camera for you so you guys can see really well. So I even have the mat out already, but I don't care about him being on the mat at this point. He is such a little spunky monkey. Let me get, whoa, where did I put my clicker? Right here? I try to put it in the same place, but sometimes I don't. All right, so I'm going to remove the mat for now because it doesn't matter if your dog does it on the mat or not. It just matters that they do it. He's probably not going to let me lure it because he's such a crazy boy. But if you're luring it, keep your clicker away from your dog. Go away. Go there. And I'm going to, first I'm just going to ask him to sit. Wow, he is so pumped. This is normal for him though. Whoops. You tried to get it out of my hand. Hey. All right, so he's going to sit. I'm not rewarding that. I'm going to go straight. Oh, almost. Hard to warm, little man. Sit. Handsy. So exciting. Good. All right, I'm just going to lure him straight to the ground. Or a play bow to start. I'm going to wait for that bum to go down so he's nibbling at my treats. I told you he was going to be a difficult one. So I'm waiting for the bum to go into the position I want. He already knows it, so I could just say it. But I'm just waiting for him to think about his booty. I have no booty. Oh, put your buttons over here. All right, try again. Do you remember your butt? So let's say this is you, and you can't get your dog to go all the way down, okay? Let's just say that's what's happening. So you're trying, they're not doing it. Oh, you got a freebie there. You could take a play bow to start, boy, until they get the idea, right? You're giving them the cute end, huh? You're giving them the booty? Let's go this way so they can see you a little better. So I've got the treat in his face. It's between my thumb and my finger. Now it's a little bit between all the fingers. And I'm just going to take that to start because it's getting him somewhere. You don't have to get the whole piece all at once. And they might pop up immediately, which is absolutely fine as well. Oh, it's so hard. Can you try this one? Sit. There. So I showed you from a stand just then. He did it from a sit. Good boy. Let's take a break. He's so crazy. All right, take a moment. He's going to do laps. That's so funny. He's such a nut. All right, let me turn you guys around so you can see each other a little better. Okay, cool. Yes, he's like, give me some food. I never give. Let's give him the bone. I never give him anything. Never. So, let me know if you have questions. I'm exhausted by just that one exercise with him. So, at first, you can go get it. He said, but I want hot dogs. I know. First, he didn't want to put his booty down when I lured him in a stand, which is what I want is him to play bow and then put his bum down. He didn't do that. So I marked and rewarded that several times, hoping he'd eventually put his booty down. His default position is a play bow. I know that's not shocking to you. But then what I tried to do once he had a few repetitions, because I want him to win. So I don't need the whole thing to be complete. I just need little components for him to figure out what's happening and be successful and not get super frustrated, which he's good at getting frustrated. Then what I did is I was like, all right, let's try a sit. And I didn't reward the sit because I want the down. And then I lured him straight down. If you go a little out, you're going to get a walk or you're going to get a crawl even. You want them to just go straight flat down, and it's a sphinx. Now, if your dog chooses to roll on a hip, that's fine. I don't care. But I just want them in that position or approximations to that position. And I only grabbed a little handful of treats. I highly recommend when you're training is you do little short segments. So count out your treats, because I know I'm the queen of one more time, and I ran out of treats and I had to come back here, which reminded me that I needed to give him a break. So give him a little break, let him think about it. I could even, if I wasn't doing this live, I could just say, that was great, and like move on with my life and go do something else. But I'm going to show you guys more. Oh, did you get something in your ear? That's not me. So I'm going to do it one more time just to see what he's thought about since then. Because he knows that I could just put it, I could just say it and he would do it. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for all the entertainment, right? All right. Let's do it one more time. Just, you know, just for giggles. Just cats. Oh, this is what I live with. All right. It could have been so much easier if I used brother. All right. Let's try again. I know. So exciting. We should work on being calm. What do you think? All right. So he's nibbling. I'm going to try to lure into the sit, and then I'm just going to go straight down. Good. Nice work. Oh, that's real nice. I like that. So if your dog remains in the down, you could even click and then reward them between their paws. Nice. And you're capturing that they're continuing to do the thing you like. Now he tends to get his booty up when I do that, so I might try something different. Good. Good. So for him, I might have to feed his face because he thinks he has to have his booty up and feed the ground. We'll try again, see what happens. Yeah. So I'm going to feed his face. I'm going to wait for you now. Good boy. He's like, why did you just say that? Why did you just say you wanted the down? Good boy. You're so great. You're so crazy. Good boy. Okay, take a break. Take a break, wild man. Let me give you your bone again. All right. So let me know if you guys have questions about that. That was pretty crazy. Okay. So your first step is just to capture or lure your dog. Oh, really? Look at this. For laying down. Once they're reliable. Oh, okay. Is this how it's going to be? You might not get chosen ever again. Get you. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you want them to understand that they're laying down. Then I want you to add duration. So I like to teach any stationary behaviors as a default stay. And excuse you, hold on. What I mean by that is that the dog understands remain in that position, whether it's a sit, a down, or a stand, until I give you a release cue. So I'm going to add duration, which is the first D of our stays. There's 3 Ds, so stay tuned for all of them. So I want my dog to understand, remain in that position, and I'm basically just going to keep bringing you treats. So I'm going to put them between the dog's paws, or I will feed their mouth, depending on what's better to keep them in position. Sometimes what you need to do, and what might be Panzer's deal, is that what I need to do is just tell him, good boy, nice work, every few seconds, and then click and give him a reward so he's remained there for a few seconds. Because we're trying to build up our seconds. I would like about 30 seconds before you start adding in any of the other Ds, because I want the dog to really understand, like, being in that position is what's being rewarded, and not being in that position is not a rewardable thing. I'm not going to correct the dog. I'm not going to fuss at the dog. I'm just going to go at their pace and make sure that they really understand being in that position is what's getting them rewarded. All right, let me see if you guys have any questions. All right, you guys look like you're doing good. Thank you guys for joining. If you're new here, I'm Paula, and we're doing Train With Me's on Tuesday nights. And I've got crazy Panzer with me, so stick around. It's gonna be a crazy show. Okay. So the next step, once the dog has the idea, is you need to have a release word before you even put a word to this behavior, because I want to teach him when to get up. Excuse you. Panzer. Oh, what if I give you a little snackies to go find? Oh, ready? So I need the dog to know when they're done. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a word on that straight away, which might shock some of you because I typically wait till dogs are 80% reliable in a behavior. But the thing is, he's going to get up if I say this release word and I toss a treat. And you're tossing the treat to, get them to get up. So I'm going to say, okay, free, break, whatever you want to say. Just something that's short and sweet to tell the dog they're allowed to get up. I'm not going to click this. I'm only clicking the down position and then duration for the down. So let me show you that, how to add the release word. Oh my goodness, there's so many components to this. Are you ready? Okay. He says, yes, mother, let's work. Oh my. Oh my. I know people are going to request you because you're so crazy. Okay, so we're going to add the release word, go away. So I'm going to try to lure him into the position. We're pretending he knows nothing, but sometimes he acts like he's go away. Like that, and immediately say, okay. Or release, or whatever your word is. Easy, child. Great. Okay, that's good. Okay. So it's immediately. I'm not even giving him any time. Go away. Okay. One more time. You're doing really good. So you can see his brain's coming back to us. Did you forget your brain? Try again. What? And I'm not meaning to back him into the wall. It's just for demonstration to help him. Okay. Help you guys see him. Good job, honey. Okay, keep going. Good job. Yay. Good job. It doesn't take much to excite this guy. You're so crazy. You are. All right. So I'm going to check in and see if you guys have any questions. Looks like you guys are doing okay. Thank you again for joining. If you just came to us, good job. Okay. So we taught the dog. Oh, my. We taught the dog the shape of getting it down. Then we're going to build in duration by maybe clicking and treating them for remaining in the position or saying good job and then clicking. And then we also added a release word. So what we're going to add now, assuming that your dog is about 80% reliable and you guys are all in different places. So don't worry about this. Don't get all crazy. This is like a crash course to get everything done in one night. Is you're going to start adding the verbal cue that you want. It could be anything. I use down. It could be flex. It could be, plank, whatever. It doesn't matter. The dog does not know what the definition of the word is, and he's offering it to me, by the way. But I'm going to say the word. The dog's going to do it. I'm going to click to say that word and the behavior you knew is why you're getting a click. And they're going to start pairing and learning that that word means the shape that they're in. And that's why I wait, because if I said down and the dog did something else, especially this crazy guy, he might put together that that's something else, like spinning in a circle or barking at me or whatever, equals what I really want. And it's not what I really want. So let me show you how to put it on a verbal cue. We're also going to talk a little bit about hand signal, but I really want to get to stay tonight, and I don't want to keep you too long. So there are lots of components to this to really build a solid down. So I am going to, we have a question here from Rachel. When would you stop throwing the treat for the release? Ooh, good question. Didn't think about that. So once the dog's getting the idea that kind of like in that 80% rule, once the dog's getting the idea that okay or break or whatever means get up, then I'm not going to throw the treat. So it's probably going to be pretty quickly. I want the dog to pair that word with getting up, not just getting a treat. Although what you'll find is the dog keeps looking for the treat, which is kind of funny. And I don't care if you keep treating them, but it's not necessary. And then okay could turn into down, you get to go through the door, or do this and you get the toy. And so that can turn into more than just a simple release. It can turn into you get something else. Yeah, that was a good question. Okay, you ready? I'm ready. I know. You want to do some other behaviors real quick just to spin yourself out? Ready? Spin. Spin. Nice. Something else to do. Well, right over. Nice work. All right. Yeah. Oh, he's just going to beat me to it. Down. Okay. And I got some slimy hot dogs, so they're kind of getting out of here. Oh, good boy. Down. One more time. Down. Get it. Good job, honey. That's very good stuff. Good. All right, take a break. He's more pumped than I expected today. All right. Let me just throw him some more snakes to go find. All right, go get it, you crazy man. Okay, so we've added the word, kind of pretend. I have to be honest, when I taught him to lay down, we actually had to just mark and reward when he did lay down because he didn't like being lured. So it's definitely more challenging for him to be lured, and you might find the same thing with your own dog. So the next thing I want to show you, so many people just get their dog to down, have to like lure them all the way to the ground. And he's not going to be the greatest demo for this. You have to imagine it a little bit. But so many people like go all the way to the ground to do it, and you don't have to. But you do have to kind of inch your way up so that you can be upright and ask the dog to down. I feel like I need to like abandon people if they think that they are gonna have to do that for the rest of their life and be all the way to the ground. So I want to show you how to progress so that you're more upright when you're asking for the behavior, even if your dog is teeny tiny like him. I know, you're so crazy. Ready? Let's get the people so they can see us, but we need to move it a little bit. Hold on. Hold on. New setup means, oh my goodness, means we got to move things around a little bit. All right. So you can't see me, but that's fine. So the idea is that I say the word, and then I'm going to lure it as if I'm, luring him to the ground. Let me turn this way then. All right. So lure as you've always done. Ready? Oh. Good. Down. Whoops. That was not a good one. Try again. Down. Good boy. Okay. Good job. It's kind of messy. So do it the way I've always done it. I do that twice, and then the third time I'm going to be a little more upright. Again, he's not the greatest demo for this. Lost mind. I'm going to send you to day school. Ready, sit? That's nice. He knows what I want. Sit. Hands. Over here. Over here. Did we fry your whole brain already? Good. Sit. Okay, we'll pretend. Okay, come here. Down. Yes. So you'd be a little bit more up each time you went. So you'd be like an inch. So my rule is do it two times you've always done it. Good boy. And then you're going to progress to the point you're upright. So that you could say, answer, down, good boy. So it's not about where my hand is. It's about him understanding the word and also a hand signal. My hand signal tends to be like a flat palm. Down, good. And so he shouldn't have to sit into it. One more time, down. Ooh, bossy. Right, get it. Next time we'll use less slimy treats. How about that? He said, no, I love slimy. It's good. All right, turn you guys back to me. All right. I'm sorry if your dogs are reacting to this barking. Next time, you have to wear a headset. All right, so any questions about anything we've covered so far? So just to teach it down, release cue, putting it on cue, and then being able to stand upright is what we've covered. Excuse you. Is what we've covered so far. And the next thing we need to do is figure out how to work on stay with more than just duration. So once you have 30 seconds of duration and you're next to your dog and they're able to lay down or sit for 30 seconds without you giving them a treat, so you're just saying something like, good job, nice work, you're doing great, before you release them, then you can start with adding other Ds, okay? Now, I don't know that he really has a 30-second down. We'll see. But what I can start working on is teaching him the other two Ds. So first one's duration. Second one is distance, how far you can get from your dog. And the third one is distraction. So distraction at home can be like tossing toys or you walking around. But we're just going to start with some getting on the mat. And the reason I use a mat is because I want my dog to know exactly where to be. If I just sit on the carpet, he may not fully understand that. And that's a beginner step. If your dog is good at this already, I would just add more distance or more distraction to the mix so that your dog really understands what to do. And for some of you, you may have added distance, but you didn't add a lot of duration. So they're good if you leave, but if you stay right by them, they get wiggly. So you might have to go back and strengthen that as well. Okay, looks like we're doing good. All right, you ready? So I'm going to get my mat out. Again, it can be anything that you have. Set you guys up so you can see good. Jesus, this is so hard, guys. So hard. So I'm going to always bring the food back to him. Think about it like breakfast in bed. Yay! So first you'll just teach your dog, that getting on there and laying down or doing anything is a good thing. I'll just let him offer it since that's what he prefers to do tonight. Good boy. What food he got up there? and I could deliver it to his mat. I'm gonna wait for the booty. And he tends to get up, so I might just tell him good boy in between versus feeding him. I'm just gonna let him get up each time. As long as he's on the mat, I don't care. I don't care. Oh boy. So I want to build up to that mat. Ooh, ferocious. I'm not gonna click any barking, so for those people who have barkers, I feel ya. I'm gonna adjust you guys a little bit more. I feel like you're just looking at the floor. You can have a little bit more. I can have a little more height on there. And let me know what you guys think about this setup. It's a little weird for me, but if it's better for you, it works for me. Oh, on there. I'm just gonna reward him for getting on there. Down. Good. It's funny how he always has to get up to eat, like his body can't handle it. So, oh, I did click, so I got a treat. So I'm gonna add a little bit of distance by just pivoting away, see what he can handle. This is pretty new for him. Down. I'm just gonna pivot. Ooh, bad clicks tonight, mama. I did not pick my easiest dog. Remember that when you're watching this. One boy. And he might be telling me I'm doing too much too fast. He's also pretty jacked up. Okay, so just a tiny step back. Notice even the slightest movement gets him moving. Oh boy, it's hard. We gotta work on this. So I'm also requiring quiet. Very hard for a little terrier man. Hands are down. Good boy. So that is frustration more than anything versus not understanding. That's what my observation is. Good boy. Good boy. So I can't get very far. For Norby, I can get across the room or down. Good boy. I could get down the hallway from Norby. I can get across the yard. With Panther, that's not where we're at. It's not where we're at, is it? I know. You're very frustrated tonight. Good. Okay, take a break. Good boy. Woo! I think I'm getting a workout too in the process. And sometimes that's the case when you guys are training your own dogs. That it's hard. Like they are frustrated. Excuse you. They are like, let's go, go, go. Ugh, kiddo, let's do. And you're like, give me a moment. Like I need a moment to think. And if that's the case, you might have to give them a chewy or change rooms, change something up so that they're not super annoying. And what you guys can't see is I'm feeding him to keep him quiet because he's that crazy right now. Okay, so, kiddo. So that is what I want you to start with is just working on your down, just getting started, teaching your dog that down is a great place to be. Add those words, add the release so it's really clear that they're allowed to get up. I couldn't even do that for his down because backing up is just too much. I definitely might redo this with Norby so you guys can see a different dog doing it. He loves it, but I put in a lot of work, and you have to practice it in different environments. Dogs do not generalize well to trained behaviors. They tend to do it for things that make them scared. But like Panzer, he hasn't done it well in here. There's no reason to think he's going to do well in my driveway or my backyard. There's just no way. Where Norby has done it in a bunch of different places. And I would encourage you all, once your dog's doing really well inside and you're able to get far and add distractions inside, as you practice it in your yard, you can also do it on a long leash or even your 6-foot leash on a walk and just work on it in different places so the dog really understands no matter what, if I ask you to sit or down or stand and possibly even say stay, I need you to remain in that position no matter what until I release you. And for me, to teach a stay differently than a wait. A stay to me means don't move from that position until I come back to you to release you. Because it makes it a little clearer. Where wait to me might mean like wait down there and I'm going to call you to me. I still tend to say like okay, come or okay here. It just depends. So let me demo one more time that final step, and he needs the practice anyways. And let's see what he can do. And I'm going to try to get some cheese out of here versus the hot dogs. A little easier for me to deliver. Good boy. I'm gonna try just using a verbal marker too. Good boy, you did good when I picked those out. Okay, let's show him one more time. Woo! Anyone want to volunteer to work the crazy boy? He's so crazy. He's so crazy. All right, let's try again. Down. Good boy. Good boy. Back. Down. Good boy. Yes, that was better. So that little break I think helped. We'll see. Good boy. Yes, good job. I think Molly heard us training. She's yelling downstairs. It's kind of hard on this. I might use a different color mat so that it's not so hard to find the snacks. That's kind of punishing if I can't find the snacks. Go boy. Down. Yes. And notice I didn't say a word like stay or anything because he doesn't know it. It's hard, Mama. Try again. Down. Good. Yes. Good job. Down. Good boy. Yes. Good job. So he didn't move on that step. That's the farthest I've gotten. Good boy. Nice. He's a little distracted. You let me cheat. Ready? Down. Good boy. Whoopsie. Good. Yes. And the reason I'm not recording while he's barking is because I don't want him to think that down and barking go together. Good. Down. Yes. Good boy. He's so crazy. All right. Okay. Great job. He's such a nut. Such a nut. Watch out, Rachel. He's coming to day school. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to do a trick next week. Next week, we're going to teach our dogs. We'll have Norby, so you'll be thankful for that. We're going to work on feet on feet. It's a really fun trick. If you have a very tall dog, it's probably not the best trick, but if you have a dog that can stand comfortably underneath of you, then it's a fun trick because you're going to teach your dog how to put their paws on top of your feet. And that could be a stationary position, or you could have them even walk there. So it's really fun. So I hope you'll tune in at 5:30 Eastern time next Tuesday for that Train Live. I'm going to post all of that information probably tomorrow. And tell your friends. And we have an online class starting with actually Rachel here. She is going to be doing an online class for manners starting on Monday, July 6th at 5 p.m. Eastern. So you guys can check that out. It's only $30. And in the description is the link to sign up. So thanks so much for joining tonight. Thanks for your patience while Panzer and I had to figure out our patience. And let me know what other topics you'd be interested in. I'd love to hear and I'd love to support you in this way. Thanks.